It's now past Riverton. It's on Galena. It's going to move right down 7th Street, maybe a jaunt north of 7th Street as it works in the western parts of Jasper County. But again, I can't reiterate enough, especially today being the anniversary of the Joplin tornado, and we have another tornado on the ground, really, which formed in the exact same spot. Doesn't mean it's going to do the same thing, but it is producing some damage, and you need to take shelter, as this is one of our bigger tornadoes that our viewing area has had in the past several years. It's continuing to work now. It should be migrating past Galena, probably right on Galena, just north of Galena, and is about ready to press into western parts of Missouri as this tornado continues on the ground. So again, dangerous situation. Make sure you take shelter. Don't go outside. Don't look. I'm looking for you. I'm looking at the tower cam. You can see it now really wrapping up. So now I'd say the tornado is maybe a half mile north of Galena. So that is good news as it continues to wrap up. You can see this cell right there on our tower cam in the bottom of your TV screen there. So this is continuing to wrap up. It looks like it has a little more of a northerly jaunt to this. Let's take this guy off now, but with a little bit more of a northerly jaunt. What do you got anything new? Anything coming in, Dow? I see Dow's coming down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Doug?
Yeah.
I just got off the phone with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, and they say they do not have any confirmed reports of damage yet in Cherokee County. That was as of about 2 or 3 minutes ago.
Okay.
And I talked with the Ottawa County Sheriff's Office. They say have they reports of some structural damage and some power lines down. This is in the Commerce area near State Line Road. But they do not know the extent of that damage at this point. They do have some officers who are ready to move into that area as soon as they can safely do so.
So we know as it's worked through northern parts of Ottawa County, southern parts of Cherokee County, we know it has been on the ground. We don't know the extent of any damage. At least it doesn't look like there's any glaring damage, but we also have had reports of sheet metal flying through the air. So we know it's hit some structures. So that is definitely dangerous situation. You can see the radar. I got it right on top. It's just north of Galena, the very tight circulation there. We're going to run back to our wonderful CC. This looks to weaken just a little bit, but the structure is still pretty tight. It's right on the state line now. I'm going to say a mile and a half north of Galena, right about the state line of Kansas and also Missouri, continuing to track east. You got anything new on this with storm chasers?
Last I checked, they just updated that. They still have it confirmed on the north sides of Galena, and that's why that red polygon is popping up. I just have the velocities on here, Doug, what you were trying to pop up earlier. It is right over Lowstein Road and north of Galena, where Maine kind of diverges from there. It's trying to move east, but also jaunting more northeast, so this may not hit historic downtown Joplin, but I would say anybody from 7th Street north needs to be in their safe place, not to mention areas as far north as Junction, Oronogo, Webb City. We've got, I would even go ahead and say MSSU, North Park Mall, a lot of businesses along Range Line. They want to be implementing their safety plans right now too. But that's all new I have right now, Doug. It's still confirmed, and we want everybody in the Joplin area to be in their safe place now.
Okay, even though that Dow, even though he just called Cherokee County and they aren't reporting a lot of damage, we know it has done some damage. We don't know the extent of it, but we know it has done some damage. We'll obviously find that out a lot more as the storm pushes through. But we've had confirmed tornadoes on the ground. We have visual, it's still on the ground. It is now just to the northeast of Galena. So Galena proper, you're getting closer to clear. Not clear yet, but you're getting closer. And it looks like it is now just working into western parts of Jasper County. So again, this is along 7th Street, north of 7th Street, Central Avenue, which becomes JJ, between Carl Junction and 7th Street. So this category right in here, and then it will work through the southern sector of Carl Junction, along Fur Road, Briarbrook, over toward Harps, and then right by the airport. So that is the main concern of where this is going over the next 5 to 10 minutes. Again, we know we have one on the ground, or at least is continuing to produce ones that are reaching the ground. So that is a very dangerous situation as it continues to roll east. I
am seeing Galena Fire Department advising that a tornado is still on the ground north of Galena. Galena, near the state line, about, what was that state highway? Jasper County P Highway.
Okay, so yeah, we have law enforcement, fire departments, and we know it's still on the ground. So anytime you have a tornado on the ground, it's tearing stuff up. So we know we got plenty of damage. It is right in here. So it's just north of Galena now, tracking away from Galena into western parts of Jasper County. If you live, I'll actually zoom in for you and I can tell you exactly where this guy is heading next. But let me tighten up the view here. Okay, so here's 7th Street, here's Central Avenue or whatever becomes JJ. So it tracks up, Messer Road hits it, and then it tracks up to Carl Junction. It is right in here. So if we look, Fur Road would be right here. So Fur Road, if you live in Briarbrook, we have a lot of people kind of in that region, the Briarbrook area, southern parts of Carl Junction. This guy's heading toward you, so you need to take cover immediately. It's probably 5-6 minutes away, but it's going to hit that area if it continues to contain a tornado. Then we got to look a little farther east. We're looking at the Joplin Airport, right through southern parts of Carl Junction, Harps, that general region, and then the airport, and then possibly Webb City as it continues to work east. So again, tornado on the ground. It's been on the ground. This guy's produced multiple tornadoes. Let's see. Tower cam. Can't see anything on it because we're kind of on the rain shield side, so we can't really look into it. It's just kind of a mass of clouds, but because we're over here and we're looking this way into it. But again, this is now northeast of Galena. So Galena proper, you are in the clear pretty much here in about 2 or 3 minutes. And I actually looking at the latest scan, you are in the clear of the tornado that has been passing by. So that is good. So Galena's clear, Riverton's clear, Baxter's clear. You can still see this tight little notch here rotating in. Now we're looking on the south side of Carl Junction. It looks to be right along JJ, and then really ready to go right down Fur Road. So we're hitting a highly populated region here very shortly. Again, Briarbrook, neighborhoods near Briarbrook, Harps, the airport, all need to take shelter as we have a tornado on the ground that is continuing to work through. Anything latest on this?
If there's any cautionary good news, the latest report I've seen, that tornado near Galena may have temporarily lifted, but we've seen this cycle so many times as this was working through northeast Oklahoma and working across southern Cherokee County. And if you don't mind, Doug, I want to just go jog back on the timeline here for a little bit. I'm noticing that new storm that popped up over downstream. I wonder if
that's helped it.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, that's cutting off the inflow, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's developing on the south side. That's what I really noticed on the latest scan. You still have this tight hook here, but this guy, he's kind of messing with it. He's saying, hey, I'm going to knock you out. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah, with this latest scan, I mean, it's still right in here, but with this storm coming in and wrapping around it, usually, not always, but usually this will kind of kill tornadoes. Doesn't mean it can't regenerate. But at least right now, seeing this little second storm coming in is a better sign, and hopefully maybe this guy is going to start to weaken just a bit. I'm going to zoom out. I want to just take a quick gander at the other warnings so I know exactly what's going on. Still have a tornado warning. I assume a weak rotation, latest you heard.
Just radar indicated. I haven't heard of anything on that storm on top of Nevada right now.
We need to watch this guy as he continues. He's about ready to work into western parts of Delaware County. Let's see, let me scan out a little farther in southeastern Kansas, have a little cluster here, and then more, which are trying to produce tornadoes back to the southwest of Bartlesville. So we're going to continue to watch all these storms that they can, as they work in. So I have our tornado warning. This is in western parts of Jasper County. We're going to go tight into here again. The latest scans have shown that this has weakened just a little bit due to a second storm that kind of blew up and kind of is wrapping in. See how our notch here is greatly closed. It's still probably right back in here, so I'd say on JJ, very close to Fur Road, but this gap is greatly closed. If this trend continues, this is going to die pretty quickly. What do you got?
Just a quick update I've seen from Carl Junction Fire. They do have rotation south of CJ proper, but no funnel clouds at this time.
So that is good news. So what this storm has done is it has killed the tornado. Still has a rotation here, but it has killed the tornado that was on the ground. So that is great news. So this would be centered very close to Fur Road as it tracks over near Harps. So it's still right in that general location, but it looks like funnel clouds. Obviously, it can drop another one. But that is good that we aren't getting one on the ground right now.
Yeah, the update on that warning, Doug, I think Springfield's being cautious. They're saying it's still observed,
Okay.
and they are reporting it over, if not just south of Carl Junction, moving northeast at 30. Maybe it's just trying to cycle back
Well,
up.
yeah, I'm going to say what they're going with when they're saying observed is an observed funnel cloud.
Yeah.
So we want to treat it like it's still on the ground, obviously. So if you live along Fur Road, Briarbrook, and then we're going to go ahead and include the airport, and we'll throw in southern parts of Webb City. You need to go ahead and take shelter. But you can see as it's continuing to work through, it looks like the rotation is very close to 171.
Reported back down at County Road 290 and Fountain per Carl Junction Fire Department.
Okay, so it's back on? Okay,
Back on.
So we've dropped it again, so very close to Fountain Road. 290, where is 290? We need to find 290 here. Let me zoom in. I'll let you look.
Yeah, I'm looking on
I'm
next to you,
looking.
but keep it on Doug for the time being.
Okay, so right through, here's Fur Road. So it looks like it's very close to 171. Again, this rotation is really tight. And I bet what has dropped, because a new one has dropped it, is I'm going to guarantee it's very tiny. Doesn't mean it can't do damage, but I guarantee it's a small tornado. It may be even rain wrapped. It may be right back in here. So just west of the airport.
Actually, Doug, I think that's considered Central City Road as you go north
Yeah.
up to CJ. So
Yeah, well, that's JJ.
Yeah.
So that goes up. I think
That's
it's-
where it is.
Okay, so it's, and then in Fountain Road. So yeah, it's right, it's right, very close to Fur Road, Fountain Road, that whole area, the Briarbrook, just south of Briarbrook area. Again, the Joplin Airport, this is heading toward you guys, and then here's 43 that runs up to the roundabout, 96 and 43. So those are the next areas that we're going to watch as it continues to release. This was at least a fairly significant or large tornado on the ground as it rolled through northern Ottawa County. Cherokee County kind of recycled over Baxter and produced a couple tornadoes. And we've had a tornado that has tracked what sounds like just clipping Riverton and Galena, probably just north of Galena, has now worked into Carl Junction near Fountain Road and also Fur Road, kind of right in that region. They're very close together. And then continues near the airport. Here's 43, the roundabout. So really from southern parts of Carl Junction over toward Airport Drive, up 43 to the roundabout, and then we'll extend over toward Webb City is kind of the immediate area of this storm as it continues to work east, maybe a jaunt northeast at about 25, 30, 35 miles per hour or so. I'm looking at, let's see, Nick's looking at the latest
Yeah,
scan.
I'm just pushing this latest scan to Facebook and Twitter, just emphasizing people that may not be watching us.
Yep.
It's on the ground again. Rotation is still strong near the Brook subdivision, west of Harps, where 171 starts to curve northwest from the airport. Safe spot now.
Okay, so we know this is still, producing tornadoes and on the ground, but man, the signature has really collapsed. It's still definitely very dangerous, but it's at least the storm structure isn't as strong. And you see how the radar is filled in here? So this means this is going rain wrapped, so whatever is, it may not look like it, but rain wrapped. What's going on in tower cam there? Do you see anything, or my eyes?
Let's go ahead and pop up the tower cam behind Doug, please. I haven't looking northwest. I haven't seen anything that suggests like power flashes to maybe help us spot where this could be. And I'm afraid if I zoom in a bit, we might lose at least some kind of contrast to help us spot it.
Okay.
Any particular way you want that camera, Doug?
No, that's pretty good right now. We may crank it a little bit farther north as this cell continues to roll through.
I'll give it a few clicks right now.
Yeah, let's go back here. So see the structure here now pushing east of Carl Junction, right in here. So it is probably right on the southeast side of Carl Junction. These storms have kind of combined together. It killed the tornado, but then it has regenerated a little bit. So we are probably getting smaller tornadoes with this as it continues to work through. I'm going to say right along 171, maybe just east of 171 between the airport up toward the roundabout at 96 and 43. So that's kind of that general area of where it is located. What do you got?
Webb City officer has eyes on it north on the tornado. I think he's located northeast, but
Okay.
actually they have it crossing over 43
So he's looking
now.
into it like this.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's tightened up a little bit. Okay. Let's go back into this. So does he give roads where he's got it?
It says crossing over 43 highway now, moving northeast.
Okay, so yeah. So here's the airport. Here's 43. I guarantee it's right here, right about where the roundabout is of 43 and 96. That's about where it is. So now we are looking North Webb City, Oronogo. I'm going to bank this is going to stay here north of Oronogo right now, but Oronogo, you need to go ahead and take shelter. That means Alba, next city as well. So that means the worst of it is now out of Carl Junction. If you feel safer, stay in your safe place, but at least the tornadic part of the cell has now pushed east of Carl Junction, Missouri, but you can still see it's right in here. That is where we have been seeing the rotation. I haven't messed with the velocity with you guys because I've been watching Nick behind Nick on the screen over here. I've been looking at the velocity at the same time.
It's just remarkable, the velocities on here. That is looking very strong. Back to Doug, please.
Yeah, so we still have pretty good velocity with this, which is showing, when we say velocity, we're talking about the winds toward the radar and away from the radar. So when you get this action, that's when we're getting rotating debris. Pull up a CC back there.
Okay.
It's just easier for you to do it.
Yeah, and while I do that, quick update. Springfield suggesting it's heading to Oronogo now.
Yeah.
And we do have trees and power lines down Fur Road and Highway JJ south of Carl Junction.
Here, pull me up. Yeah, that's where I wanted to look.
That's
right there.
where it is.
Okay, so it regenerated. I saw it collapsing here, and I saw that pop up, and I was like, dang it. Okay, so it regenerated.
Yeah, crossing 171 just south of Gum Road.
Okay, so this is on the ground again. So, yeah, not good. So this is where our tornado is on the ground. This is now just to the west of Oronogo. Oronogo, you need to go ahead and take shelter immediately as this is on the ground and heading toward Oronogo, Missouri. Let's tighten up, and I'll give you, I live right here, so I know the roads very well. Okay, so here's 96, and then here's 171, and so here's Ivy Road that comes out of Oronogo. So we're taking Ivy Road over to 43, which is right here, and then the roundabout is right here. That is right where the tornado is. So it's right along Ivy Road, and then just south of 96. So really on the west side of Oronogo, and this is going to track right through Oronogo. So if you live there, you need to take shelter. You need to take shelter as this is on the ground. It has been doing damage, long track damage all the way back from Ottawa County. We have spotters on it. You can see right there now. It is moving into Oronogo right now. So this is tracking 25, 30 miles per hour. Tornado on the ground, moving into Oronogo, Missouri. It has done damage. We have visuals of this. This is a dangerous situation, of course. Oronogo's population has greatly expanded over the past 10, 15 years, so there's a lot of people here. You need to go ahead and take shelter if you live in Oronogo, Missouri. It looks like this is going to stay probably just to get your bearings straight, a lot of people in Webb City. I'm going to say 4 miles north of Webb City High School. So it's kind of north of Webb City High School. This is right along, just south of 96, Ivy Road. Trying to think of the addition that is right there. It's not Briar Brook. Sounds just like Briar Brook, but is moving right into the western side of Oronogo. So anybody in Oronogo, Greystone, that neighborhood addition, you need to go ahead and take shelter as we have still a tornado that has been on the ground, has been producing damage, continuing to produce damage. Actually, it looks like it's going to go right over my house, which, yep, right there. It's right on top of Oronogo right now. So this is on the ground in Oronogo. What do you got on CC there? Anything new?
It's still there. I mean, the latest scan may suggest
it's a little behind.
Yeah, between 171 and 43, but And behind the scenes, I'm trying to see if I can find anything on that tower cam, but I'm honestly...
Yeah, it's getting too dark there. Do you have anything?
They're going tornado emergency for Oronogo.
So we got a tornado emergency. When we get a tornado emergency, this is a large destructive tornado on the ground. When you get a tornado emergency, this means it will take lives. So if you are not in a central bathroom, central closet, storm shelter, or a basement, your life is at risk. You don't want to be in your car. This is a tornado emergency and will take life as it rolls through Oronogo, Missouri. So this is going to do major damage. It's going to wipe out houses, wipe out trailers, mobile homes as it continues to work through Oronogo. So the biggest tornado this area has seen since May 4th of 2003. So this is a large, dangerous, destructive tornado. I don't know how any better to really
we can't
put
make it
out.
more simple than that.
Yeah. So this is right on top of Oronogo, maybe on the west side. Again, it's moving east, 25, 30 miles per hour. It's doing damage. It's on the ground. This is a tornado emergency. The last tornado emergency we have gotten was on this date 8 years ago for the Joplin tornado. So anytime you get a tornado emergency, this is doing monster damage. You got anything new on it? I know you're typing, trying to...
Yeah, I'm trying to get this out to Facebook and Twitter as I type. But from the Weather Service, they updated the warning, observed they're going with potentially catastrophic damage, and if somehow they don't get the tornado, hail size is approaching 2.5 inches in diameter.
Okay, so this right now, so we're getting very large hail. We got a tornado on the ground. Here is 96. Let's see, my eyes are getting worse with age. I'm going to go in a little bit tighter here. So here's D. Of course, D goes across the bridge that has been closed for about a month. So Harry S. Truman School is right here, and I bet it is 2 miles west of Harry S. Truman School. Dangerous tornado on the ground, working through Oronogo, which is a tornado emergency. So the tornado emergency, again, very dangerous, destructive tornado as it rolls through. You have to be in shelter. You have to be. We are streaming this on our web. We've been on Facebook Live for an hour and a half, 2 hours now. So just take your phone in there as well as you got to take shelter. But you must take shelter in Oronogo as this is large, dangerous tornado, which is working through. I'm going to zoom back out just a little bit. Nick's, he's watching all the new storms coming in.
Do you want a quick update on those very quickly?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Very quickly, camera 3 with Max 2 behind me. We're watching storms south of Bonita, southwest of Grand Lake. Tornado warning with that. Haven't seen anything confirmed on the ground with that. And then we have Osage and Pawnee County around Hominy, west of Bartlesville. Those are more supercells that are trying to pop up. Well, you could go ahead, Doug, if you need to.
I was going to plug in my phone for the Facebook Live because I guarantee mine.
Go ahead. We got to keep them up going too. But while we're doing that, let me just quickly gaze around to see what else we're seeing. Looking like north of 54, northern parts of Bourbon County, that looks like just a severe thunderstorm. Not seeing rotation with that. Let me get a quick query on that one. $half size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, continuing to lift north and east at about 40 miles per hour. Let's do a quick double check on that tornado warning in eastern parts of Vernon County. If you live west of 49 in Nevada, we'll go ahead and give you an all clear for the time being, but from downtown east, let's give you another 10-15 minutes, then you should be in good shape. But if that at least rotation is still on the ground around Walker, Badger, Clear Creek, eventually we'll get this going into El Dorado Springs, and eventually, if the tornado warnings continue, we'll hand it off to the Springfield television market. Let me do one more quick check here, Doug, before we get back over to you. Watching a strong storm, another one between Pittsburgh and Oswego. That's not looking impressive right now. That's all I have. Let's get back over to you, Doug.
All right, so we are right in the time frame of the most unstable atmosphere, and that's why we are getting these tornadoes. We still have it right here. It looks like now it is probably pressing through Oronogo or passing just by Oronogo. We're going to wait for the latest sweep, but
they are still confirming it's on the ground.
Okay, so it's on the ground still doing damage. This is a tornado emergency again. You need to take shelter. Okay, so it looks like the heaviest, or probably the rotation. I'm going to zoom right in here, and we're going to get a very close look. So again, here's D Highway. I mean, it's right on top of like Harry S. Truman School, right down 96. I live right there, so right on the heart of Oronogo 96 and D Highway. If you live in next city, you need to go ahead and take shelter. If you live in Alba, you need to go ahead and take shelter as this dangerous tornado continues to work through. I can always see when Nick's got
No,
something
I'm just
new.
saying, like you said, 96 and D, that's where we still have that debris signature.
Okay, so 96 and D, strong debris signature. When we get the debris, it's doing damage. I do know at Harry S. Truman School, right there at 96 and D, there's a large storm shelter. Hopefully, people are in that. But yeah, large tornado on the ground. Looks like it's wrapping up, moving just east, right down 96, right at that interchange of 96 and D. So this is going to, Greystone, you need to be in your shelter. This is moving right over you. It looks like it'll probably pass just a hair south and very close to Alba. That is next in line, next city. And then once you get east of here, there's not a lot until you hit about Carthage. But Oronogo right now obviously taking a very hard direct hit. We're also looking at Tower Cam, looking due north. And when you see these dark clouds like that, not a good sign. Tornado emergency, large tornado on the ground. Oronogo, make sure you take shelter. What do you got?
Quick note from law enforcement. Actually, a citizen's report of heavy tornado damage near Fur and Black Cat. So far, no injuries, but unfortunately, they are confirming damage with this.
Okay, so that's back in western parts of Jasper County. So that's when it was just south of Carl Junction. Heavy damage, so very destructive tornado. Of course, it's tracked from Ottawa County, right over Riverton, right over Galena, through southern parts of Carl Junction. We do know there's a lot of damage on the south side of Carl Junction. We also know there's a lot of damage on top of Oronogo as it has rolled through. Now I can tell is just east of Oronogo, so this is good, at least the rotation. So here's D, here's 96, and then 96 goes out and it curves down toward Carthage. So now we are looking very close to Alba. Alba, you got to be in your safe place as we still have a tornado emergency and a tornado on the ground. Looks like it is now past 96 and D. Again, we're gonna be getting damage reports in. We know it has done damage as it has worked through Oronogo. Very large, destructive tornado has worked through. Again, tornado warning continues to track east. I want to zoom out a little bit farther for you. I didn't mean to do that. But we're gonna look at Carthage as well and kind of see what part of Carthage needs to watch this storm as it heads toward you. You can see it wrapping up. This should stay just clipping the north side of Carthage. So that's good news for Carthage proper as it continues to roll east. I bet we still have law enforcement on this, and I'm sure we have some new updates. Anything new?
Yeah, and we're noticing the rotation tighten up too. If you don't mind, Doug, I'm going to quickly pull up. Yeah, I want to pull up camera 3 quickly behind me. Keep in mind, the beam is kind of shooting pretty high up, but we are seeing tight rotation pushing 106 miles per hour. They are noticing that rotation trying to strengthen, so go ahead, treat this like it's still on the ground. It's done damage. We're getting damage reports now, and I think actually an EMS strike team is being requested by Mercy EMS for Jasper County. So this is still a really dangerous situation. I would still say tornado emergency around Oronogo, Alba, and northwest of Brooklyn Heights. Be in your safe place right now.
Yeah, when you're getting gate-to-gate shear over 100 miles per hour, I mean, obviously you can't tell what size tornado it is, but that's usually more on the lines of an EF3 or stronger tornado. That's just kind of taking statistics with history. Obviously, we can't see it on the ground right now. So here's Purcell, next city, Alba. It is right on top of you guys now. Dangerous tornado. Is anything new with that warning coming out? Or is that what you were just talking about?
They are saying that rotation over Oronogo, 8 miles west of Carthage.
Yeah.
Carthage, if you are not in your safe place, this is the time to get there. It's just to your west, and hopefully this lifts or cycles before it does Carthage, because the storm has already done damage, and heaven forbid we don't need any more, Doug.
Yeah, and I actually think the tornado itself is going to stay north of Carthage. When we look at Carthage, we're getting very close to I-49 now. But Carthage kind of loops around. You got all this action here, and then you got downtown Carthage here, and then it curves up. And once you get to about here on I-49, there's not much until you hit Jasper. And I think the brunt of this is going to stay just north of Carthage. Still, I mean, this is right on top of Alba right now. So large tornado, Alba, Missouri. continuing on the ground. This is going to track, and there are still a lot of houses out here. Alba, and then all the way over toward I-89, which is going to stretch north toward Jasper. But again, we've been watching this cell for, I don't know, what time is it, 8:30? So for 2 hours, it has been producing a tornado all the way back in the northern parts of Oklahoma, continuing to track off toward the north and to the east. Very strong signature, Alba, Missouri tornado emergency, large destructive tornado on the ground. Now, if you live in Oronogo, we don't know exactly what the extent is of damage. We are getting reports in of Carl Junction having some damage. We're also getting reports all the way back through Cherokee and Ottawa County. This is a better sign. It may have wrapped up tighter, but I think it will start to cycle a bit here.
Latest I have on that, back when it was over Oronogo, we had per chief, either fire or police chief, a tornado above the school.
Okay, so it went right the exact spot that we thought it was.
And heading toward Purcell and Alba, still on the ground.
Okay, hopefully when he says above the school, we're talking a funnel cloud. That would be...
Yeah, hopefully, or it's passing just north of the school, but again, it's still on the ground. You have to be in your safe place right now.
What I have noticed is this last scan here, instead of more of a kind of a hook, it's kind of pulled in. And usually this means the storm wants to recycle a little bit, so it could be at its ending stages, but still, as far as we know, storm chasers on it. We're direct connection with the National Weather Service, all the spotters, everybody. As far as we know, this is still on the ground. It is moving just east of Alba. Again, I'll zoom in. I'll kind of show you where it has tracked and where we are getting damage in from the cell. But okay, so it's gone right through Oronogo, south side of Carl Junction. We know Central Avenue, Black Cat Road. It has produced damage. We know there is some damage north of Galena, and then some damage as you work into northern parts of Ottawa County. So this has been a long track tornado and a long track storm that has produced a tornado across the region. I do like this little last scan. It seems to be trying to recycle. I mean, when it recycles, it can produce another one, but it may be a better sign for this one. I see a new severe thunderstorm warning, probably some pretty large hail. It's a $1 to $50 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. 60 mile per hour winds, $50 size hail. And just fresh confirmation, tornado still on the ground northeast of Oronogo. Again, heading for maybe close to Jasper, but definitely Purcell and Alba.
Yeah, we'll get a tight little look on this and we'll figure out exactly where it's going to go. All right, so we're now east of Alba. We're looking probably right in here. Still tornado on the ground. So if we look at where it is going next, again, I think immediate Carthage is going to be okay. I think this is going to stay just north. Here's Carthage. Here's kind of I-49. It loops up and then goes. Here's Carytown. Jasper's about right here. So kind of that stretch from Jasper 10 miles south. That's where you really need to pay attention.
And they're going to extend that tornado warning to the east to cover more of Jasper County within the next minute or so.
Okay. I still think it could be recycling, so we're going to have to watch that. It's right in here. So this is, I'm going to say three miles west of I-49, north of Carthage. I mean, if you feel inclined, go ahead and take shelter in Carthage, but I guarantee this rotation will stay north of you. This is going to pass in this stretch of I-49 from Carthage up toward Jasper and a little bit closer toward Jasper. So Carytown up toward Jasper, that's where you really want to watch this as it continues to push east. But we've had tornado on the ground. We still have a tornado on the ground. We know it has at least produced a possible tornado through Oronogo, Alba. Law enforcement has been on this. Spotters have been on this. Chasers have been on this. That latest scan, it looks like it may try to recycle. Definitely try to recycle, which means could be greatly weakening, but it could try to re-strengthen once again. It kind of goes through a full 360 little turn. Let me go ahead and I want to zoom out and see what else we got here in the entire viewing area.
Thankfully for now, Doug, that is now the only tornado warning we have. They're going to cancel that tornado warning in Vernon.
Great. So Vernon County is going to cancel. That has mainly been rotation as of late. We're still going to watch this guy as he continues to move into parts of Delaware and also Ottawa County. Little tiny storms popping up.
Well, they just reissued for it again.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to go away just yet.
Kind of that day. So let's go up into eastern Vernon. Okay, so this is eastern parts of Vernon County. This is just to the west of El Dorado Springs. Nice little couplet there So El Dorado Springs, you need to go ahead and take shelter as it continues to work in. You got anything for us, Dow?
No.
Okay. Great. All right, so we're going to drop back south. We're going to go into back into northern parts of Jasper County. We know this guy's strengthening near El Dorado Springs, so a possible tornado there. That is eastern parts of Vernon County. Let's go ahead. We're going to drop south. We're going to go back into Jasper County. Look at this guy, still very intense cell and still has that little hook right on the south side. We do know this has produced multiple tornadoes, really from Alba, Oronogo, south side of Carl Junction, Galena, Riverton, Baxter, all the way back toward Treese, Pitcher, Commerce. So this has been a long track storm. This is definitely recycled here. It's lost its hook, but it's also trying to regenerate just east of Alba. So it's trying again. I'm going to say most likely, if anything's on the ground, it's very small or just a funnel cloud right now, but this is going to try to recycle and drop again as it works toward I-49. You got anything new on it?
Just to double check, I'm looking at the latest warning that they put out. Moving northeast at 40 now, and if that's true, thankfully this will stay north of Carthage, but still, like, you can't gamble with this. You got to be in a safe place if you're anywhere in that flashing red polygon.
Yeah, and you can see how they're extending it now, the warning, because we're still getting pretty good rotation with it. We can't guarantee it's on the ground right now. We're going to go ahead and treat it like it is.
Yeah, they're still noting it as observed.
Okay, and it is trying to recycle right in here, so just to the east of Alba. So it probably moved east and died, and now it's trying to regenerate back just east of Alba. You can see the green and the red, which are matching up for us. Let me go ahead and clear that off, and let's try this a little bigger here.
Yeah, it's, look.
The National Weather Service.
Okay, yeah, so it's still trying to regenerate on the ground here.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is cycling. A new circulation is trying to form west of the original one.
Yep, so yeah, it's recycling, trying to reform right back on Alba right now. So still Alba, you need to be in your shelter, safe place, as it is trying to recycle just to the east of Alba. And when I say that what has happened is the tornado that has gone over Oronogo and then into Alba has now kind of collapsed, and the storm is now ramping back up. Now you can see more curvature on the cell here, so it's really going to try to recycle right in here, just east of Alba. So this kind of puts the brakes on the storm moving east for just temporarily until it drops again, and then it starts plowing east. Just to the west of I-49, 3 or 4 miles, it will pass between Carthage and also Jasper, Missouri.
Sorry to interrupt you again, Doug, but new tornado warning now, so unfortunately we have 2 tornado warnings to track. It's actually clipping southeastern parts of Craig County. Let's give Doug a little breather to just let him regather, and I'll walk you through this latest tornado warning that is out for extreme southeastern Craig County, but it's covering a lot of Mays County in Oklahoma. Mays County technically is covered by the Tulsa television market, but I wouldn't be surprised if some viewers out there are trying to get like a reception from us or a signal too. Last check I had with this, thankfully there's not a tornado on the ground, but we do have strong rotation right around Pryor Creek, between Choteau and Locust Grove, north of 412, which I think is the Cherokee Turnpike in that part of green country in northeast Oklahoma. It is moving to the east at 25 miles per hour. So if anything tries to clip southeastern parts of Craig County, it might just be heavy rain and hail, maybe pushing, let's say, quarter to golf ball size, so between 1 inch and 1 3/4 inches. So for the time being, in Craig County, south and east of Bonita, south and east of the Turnpike, you're not going to get the tornadic rotation, but you will definitely pick up on quite a bit of rain and some hail too. Are you ready to go again, Doug?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's go back to Doug.
All right, so we're still watching our tornado warning. This is northeastern parts of Jasper. You can definitely see this storm is recycled now. Getting stronger. We're getting the deeper reds pulling in behind it. This is going to, if it's not on the ground right now, it's going to drop again, and it's probably going to be a large tornado as it tracks. Here's Jasper. Here's Carytown, so we're right on the stretch of 49 highway, or Interstate 49. It looks like it's going to track maybe 2 or 3 miles south of the town of Jasper. then continue into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. You got anything new?
No, just to reiterate what you said, you mentioned Interstate 49. We don't want anybody on 49 between Carthage and Jasper. So if you know anybody potentially on the road trying to go to Jasper or to Carthage from Jasper along 49, it is not a good idea. Tell them to get off the road and wait until the storm passes, Doug.
All right, we still have severe thunderstorm warning. This is going over Pittsburgh. We haven't had much in the way of rotation with it, just south of Girard. This is going to push into western parts of Barton County. Let's go up into Vernon County, where we have had a tornado warning. This is now east of El Dorado Springs, so we're going to let Springfield take this one, the Springfield television market. Let's look a little bit farther toward the west. Numerous cells popping up, anywhere from Chanute, Iola, Fredonia, Parsons. These aren't severe. These are just strong cells. We're going to go ahead and we're going to drop into northeastern Oklahoma. We've got to watch this cluster as it works out toward Washington County. And then we've been watching this big cluster, which is now tracking along and south of Interstate 44, pushing in the western side of Delaware County, eventually southern parts of Ottawa County, and then is going to work into southwestern Missouri. And that is going to have a tornado threat as it starts to affect southern Ottawa, Newton, and McDonald County. So that's really the kind of the next big part of this system that we need to watch. Still, tornado. This storm is regenerating, reloading, very close now to I-49 north of Carthage, and then just to the south of Jasper. We're going to go in tight on here. We'll get a look. And yeah, it is definitely regenerated. So we are looking just north of Carytown. Here's Jasper. So this is going to track right across I-49 here in probably the next 2 minutes, just south of Jasper. Go ahead and take shelter if you live in Jasper. Also Carytown, as of course this has been a large destructive tornado at times from Alba, Oronogo, Carl Junction, Galena, Riverton. We've had some damage in Cherokee County. We know there's been some damage northern parts of Ottawa County. We do know there's some damage just south of Carl Junction. We don't know about Oronogo yet. This storm is regenerating. It's going to drop again if it's not already on the ground. This is just south of Jasper. You need to go ahead and take shelter as it continues to work east. So let's look and see who's in line next. Once it passes I-49, so here's Jasper, then we're kind of out in mainly rural area for a while until you get out, well, really until you start pushing Lockwood and Greenfield. So there's a nice little stretch. Obviously, we have people who live in this area, but it's not a very highly populated area as it works. Once it passes Jasper, we're going to have about a 20-mile stretch where it's not as populated. Again, obviously, we have a lot of people, farming communities that live out in here, but still very tight circulation. So we're looking right at Jasper County, or right at the town of Jasper. I'll go back to the velocity here and pull this up, take a look, see what we get. Yeah, right there. You're almost right where the arrow pointed.
Yeah.
You can see right on I-49 right now, just south of Jasper, Missouri. And let's see, we'll pull out the CC. And yeah, we definitely still have something right there. So right where the little 49 sign is, we're going to go. Most likely this is still on the ground and doing some damage. About 2-3 miles south of Jasper along I-49. This is staying north of Carthage. That is good news. Carthage, you don't need to worry about this. Jasper, you're going to be in the hail core. This will pass just south of the town of Jasper, and then it's going to head out northeastern Jasper County and then eventually move into Lawrence County and Dade County in southwestern parts of Missouri. What do you got, Nick?
Just an update on that storm for extreme northeastern Vernon, but St. Clair County too. Even though it's technically moving out of our area, they have observed a tornado with it near El Dorado Springs and moving northeast at 35. So even though we don't quite have the signal going out to St. Clair County for most of the county, if you know anybody out in St. Clair County, give them a heads up. A tornado was observed with this, so they need to get to their safe place right now.
Okay, so this would be an observed tornado just to the north of El Dorado Springs in west central parts of Missouri as it continues to track off toward the north and to the east. But again, at least it is out of Vernon County. So in Vernon County, you can go ahead and get out of your shelter if you were kind of in that part of the storm. So as of right now, I'm going to zoom out and we'll kind of get our bearings here. We got the one moving out of Vernon County. Bates County is pretty active. Looks like we have some tornado warnings near the Lake of the Ozarks. We're going to go back a little bit farther to the west. We have numerous cells which continue to develop. These are just strong guys. We aren't seeing anything on the ground, any tornado warnings at this time with these cells or even severe thunderstorm warnings. Very intense cell near Pittsburgh. The air mass is most ripe right along I-44, at least right now. Let me go ahead and zoom in. We're going to look at Crawford County. Pretty intense cell, severe thunderstorm warning. This is from Pittsburgh, Frontenac, Alba, and then heading over toward Liberal. Also push near Lamar as this cell moves east, northeast at about, I'd say 35 miles per hour. Let's go ahead, zoom out. We're going to drop back south and see what else is moving in. Let me pan off to the south here. We're going to look and see a tornado warning. This is just outside of Delaware County. So we got to start to watch this cluster as it pushes into Delaware County and then eventually McDonald, Benton, and Newton County here in the next hour or so. Still have our tornado warning, northeastern parts of Jasper County. We'll pan back up there.
On that, didn't mean to interrupt you, Doug. On that storm, the southwest of Grand Lake, they had a GRDA, I forgot, that's some kind of like the Grand River Dam Authority.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. They have confirmed a tornado that briefly touched the ground north of 69A and 412B near the Cherokee Turnpike. So it's trying to do something, and we're watching it.
Yeah, and that whole cluster is going to be working in over the next few hours. This severe weather's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to be sticking around. Still very strong signature, tornado observed. This is now south, most likely southeast of Jasper by a very, very close margin, maybe 2 miles south of Jasper at best. Still, you need to be in your shelter in the small town of Jasper, and then as it continues to work, it looks like it's going to track eventually into southeastern parts of Barton County as it continues to work east, northeast. At least this is leaving the metro. Once we can get it past Jasper, then we won't be in as highly populated area. Again, we do know this has done damage, some damage. We do know we've had tornadoes on the ground. This once was a tornado emergency near Oronogo just because it was on the ground with a highly populated area. Still very tight. So, I actually lost it a little bit on that last one, but I would say at least a funnel cloud, if not one, is on the ground. Have you had anything new on northern parts of Jasper County?
No, I haven't seen much. They have dropped a tornado emergency warning from the tornado warning, but they're still treating this as observed and potentially a dangerous tornado. It has been dangerous, as Doug has been mentioning, and would not be surprised if it's still on the ground, even though the reflectivity structure is making it look a little bit weaker. Just sifting behind the scenes here to see if I find anything new. I wanted to bring in an update as long as we have Max 2 up here. The severe thunderstorm warning from Pittsburgh and around Beulah, north and east. The hail sizes on that have dropped. It's 60 1/4. And just double check on that expiration time. Has that in effect until 9:30. No rotation with that. We're watching it closely. And let's see, we have seen Springfield, as I pan this back to the tornado warned storm in Jasper County, that rotation, it's trying to cycle again. So that rotation is, if it's weakened, it's trying to strengthen back up, and it would not be surprising, Doug, if it tried to put something on the ground once again, which it has done numerous times as the storm came out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, pretty good rotation on it, north central, northeastern parts of Jasper County. Just keep the graphics up for now. Lucas, I'll run back over to the wall here in a second. But again, yeah, we've had, this went right through Oronogo. We had a tornado emergency right through south side of Carl Junction, and then it tracked Galena, Riverton, all the way back just north of Miami. So we'll find out a lot more about what this tornado has done as it continues to work east. Still have this cluster, eastern parts of Crawford County, western parts of Barton County, a severe thunderstorm warning. That's winds at 60.
Oh, actually, if we could, let's switch to Max Storm, please, so we can see what Doug's looking at as well. There we go, thank you.
Yeah, and then we still have the tornado warning, El Dorado Springs, and then all these little guys back, Fort Scott, Iola, Chanute. These are much smaller thunderstorms, but still stuff we want to watch as it continues to work in. In fact, I'll change up the radar here just a little bit so you can get kind of a better idea of what these storms look like. You can see they're strong thunderstorms, but we aren't seeing these severe.
Yeah, Wichita, sorry to interrupt. Wichita's not impressed with those. They're trying, but they're staying below severe limits, so that's good.
And then we're going to watch this cluster as it continues to work out. Into Delaware County, you can see a new tornado warning for this. This is northern parts of Delaware County, southern parts of Ottawa County. This is radar indicated. And
look at it near Disney moving northeast at 35, and yeah, there is a Disney, Oklahoma, believe it or not.
So this is going to head toward Grove.
That actually looks
and
like oh, sorry, go ahead.
This is going to head toward Grove and then continue into southern parts of Ottawa County.
I'm wondering if that was a separate storm, though, because the one south, closer to the Cherokee Turnpike, it's trying to put something on the ground, so I'm wondering if that's possibly a new storm or a separate storm.
Well, let's take a look. Yeah, so we're getting such range fold. I bet they're going for that. I wonder where Disney is. I bet it's very close to that Langley.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch this cluster as it continues to work out in McDonald County and then eventually into Newton County. See, this cluster is continuing to produce warnings. So we're going to watch these as they work in. Really, the most unstable air mass from this point on, guys, is I'm going to draw a quick circle for you. Kind of going back through here. This is where the most unstable air is. Pittsburgh, Joplin, Nevada, and then all along the I-44 corridor. Okay, so let me clear this off. I'll walk back to the wall. I'm going to set this up, and we're going to go into northern Jasper County again. This guy's been kind of recirculating. I can definitely tell we have a very large hail core with this. Let's go ahead and put hail size. Yeah, east of Jasper, whenever you start seeing the yellows popping up, this is showing us probably golf ball size hail. We'll take that guy off. We're going to track a little bit farther north and east. So Golden City, it's kind of in line as this continues working. Golden City is very far eastern side of Barton County. So if you live in Golden City and then eventually Lockwood, you need to go ahead and at least prepare as this works in. It's still about 15-20 minutes away.
Yep, that's severe thunderstorm warning for Pittsburgh, southeastern Crawford, western Barton. That has weakened. That severe thunderstorm warning's gone for now.
Yeah, it seems like the most unstable air is just, it's kind of right along I-44 and then kind of stretches up near Stockton Lake. We're having a hard time getting anything big in southeastern Kansas now, which is fine with me. Yeah. But look at this mess, which is going to roll into the area. So still tornado warning, northeastern parts, Jasper County, east of Jasper now, heading toward Golden City, eventually toward Lockwood. We're just seeing observed tornado and possibly funnel clouds, but could drop and could be on the ground at any time. Rotation looks a little bit weaker, but it also looks like it's trying to recycle a little bit. You can see these two little notches here. So that's what we want to watch as it continues to work through. What did I do with my clicker? There it is. All right, so this may be trying to recycle just a bit, but you can see here's our rotation. Right back through here, maybe trying to regenerate. So most likely, this is going to quit producing a tornado and then probably start again as it continues to work through. It's dark out now, so any storm chasers we have, any spotters we have out there are now working where it makes it 3 times as hard because you can't see if there's anything on the ground unless if you have a really good lightning strike. So from this point on, you have to kind of go away from the visual of chasers and spotters and just take, whenever you have a warning, whenever we're detecting it on radar that it is producing something and you need to go ahead and take shelter. So this is going to head toward Golden City, which is in far eastern parts of Barton County as it continues to track off toward the north and to the east. Here over the next, I took it out of Magic Track, bud. We throw that back in.
And you're good.
All right, so this is going to continue to track off toward the northeast. So Golden City, go ahead, take shelter. And then eventually, if you live in Lockwood, you need to also watch this as it continues to work through. All right, severe thunderstorm warning continues all the way down into Jasper County as we've had these clusters which continue to work through. At least the tornadic cell and everything is calming down in the Joplin metro, but we still have these guys which are working in. So we're looking southwest of Seneca. These are still a decent distance away from really working into Newton County or McDonald County, but they've had the history of producing tornadoes. So we really want to pay attention as this works into McDonald County and also Newton County, as it obviously very unstable air mass could start to ramp up. Hey Nick, if you would for me when I'm talking here.
Sure.
Look at SPC, see if they've put any mesoscale discussions out, anything new
Actually, I'll
of what they're
double-check
kind
right
of
now.
predicting with all these clusters over the next hour or two now that we've lost kind of the heating of the day. I want to see if any of these storms have overworked the atmosphere at all. The problem is these areas, northeastern Oklahoma, southwestern Missouri, really haven't had anything. So the atmosphere is very unstable. But I think just from doing this for a while, but the reason we're getting these guys kind of downgrading is because we've had so many storms already and it's kind of overworked a little bit.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were pausing. Didn't mean to interrupt you there. But I do have an update from Storm Prediction Center. They are suggesting that eventually this is going to transition to mainly a severe hail and an increasing wind threat through the late evening. But let's not take our foot off the gas pedal, for lack of a better expression here. We still need to treat this as any of these storms could produce a tornado, and they're even saying potential for a strong tornado continues near the I-44 corridor up until about 10 or 11 o'clock, as you've been saying all evening long, Doug.
Yeah, I think the most unstable area by far now
We can go back to Doug.
is right along I-44, northeastern Oklahoma, southwestern Missouri. And these guys will just most likely come together into a big rain-making flooding event like we have seen, and then just kind of drop through as we work through the rest of the overnight hours tonight. In fact, let's go ahead here and I'll take this off and we'll go through the future. And you can see the lines of showers and thunderstorms kind of congeals into line. Here's 10 p.m. We'll go 11, 12 still. Most of these are going to probably be severe as they continue to work through. But again, we'll kind of switch over to a hail and a wind threat after 11 o'clock or so. Let's go through 1 o'clock in the morning, still very heavy amounts of rain. Storms continue 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We're still going to have a tornado threat all night, but it's going to switch more to a hail and a wind threat. I think we're going to have serious flash flooding again, and the flooding is going to be a major, major concern just due to the amounts of rain that we have seen over the past really 3 weeks. But 2 days, now we're pressing a lot of areas 7 to 13 inches of rain, which is just crazy. So we got to watch these as they continue to work through. We're going to track back northern parts, northeastern parts of Jasper County. So this is now east of Jasper, still a circulation. We're going to go ahead and say probably, most likely funnel clouds at least with it. What do you got, Nick?
Latest on that, spotter reporting tornado on the ground. County Road 80 and Thorn Road, tracking northeast toward Golden City.
Okay, so latest reports, tornado on the ground again. At night, it is very hard to tell if something's on the ground. You got to wait for really anything like a power flash or lightning to really give you an idea of what it's doing. This is still the same tornado that tracked through northern parts of Oklahoma, Riverton, Galena, Carl Junction, Oronogo, and then now east of Jasper. Most likely the tornado would be right in here. So now probably 5, 6 miles southwest of Golden City. Still, Golden City, you definitely need to take shelter, as latest reports we have a tornado on the ground, northeastern parts of Jasper County, about ready to move into kind of clippings, southeastern parts of Barton County. So that's what's going on with that. We still have our other cells, which are developing northeastern parts of Oklahoma, and these will continue to work through. Actually, let's go back there. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Okay, and you can see these clusters now. Grand Lake, southern parts of Ottawa County. So all these are starting to press in. That's why we still have the tornado warning in southern parts of Ottawa County. That guy looks impressive too, just to the southwest of Bartlesville.
On their sky it took.
Yeah, there's definitely one there, and then definitely one there. So yeah, these are all working in. I'm really watching, look at these storms just exploding now. Montgomery County, these are probably going to be more hail makers, wind makers, and definitely rain, but these guys are going to continue to blossom. I really think all this is going to continue to fill in. Tornado threat will slowly taper over the next 2, 3, 4 hours, and then we'll see our hail and wind threat slowly increase as we work through the rest of the overnight. But again, very intense storms. The guy in Jasper County is definitely wrapping up a bit. You can see that tighter circulation, so that's definitely on the ground. That's right along the county line of Jasper and also Barton County.
Yeah, they're going to extend that tornado warning into Dade County any moment now.
Okay, so we have this now pressing. It's right on the county line, Jasper, Barton County. This is, if you live in Golden City now, you definitely want to take shelter. So this guy's on the ground. It's only 2 or 3 miles to the south, probably 5 miles to the southwest of the city of Golden City, or the town of Golden City.